Welcome to part 5 of The Church Owes Black Women Reparations. Now, listen, this is probably the one that may have pissed me off the most. I think this is the one that brought up a lot of pain, actually, and anger, hatred, and sadness. And this is how religion gave Black women a foul, nasty, twisted, weird, perverse, religious package as a replacement for our own very powerful, ancient, spiritual practices and technology. And I said that slow for a reason. I'm going to say it again. Religion, the church, has given Black women a very foul, funky, weird, foreign, just absolutely absurd religious package as a replacement for our own ancient spiritual practices. And I wanted to say that again because religion has painted our ancient spiritual practices as evil, as of the quote, devil, when really those practices are a part of you. Religion is not a part of you. Religion is something that was handed to you. So essentially, what religion did is that it caused you to look at yourself through that religious lens of you being evil, you being afraid of your own self. Your ancient spiritual practices are in your DNA. It's a part of you. Religion is something external. Religion is something that is false. Religion is something you adopted. You don't adopt your ancient spiritual practices, just like you don't adopt your heart, you don't adopt your blood. It is a part of you. And religion did a very good job at that too by telling you that it is, quote, witchcraft. And listen, witchcraft in itself, we know that that's a bubble for a lot of things. And people will use, just people in general, will use witchcraft to describe spiritual practices that they don't understand, or just things out in the world that they don't understand. Oh, it's a witchcraft. I don't understand it, so it's witchcraft. So that comes from a lot of ignorance, all right? But here's what I'm going to infuse here for a second. Our Black ancient mothers were the authority in civilization. They were sought after because people understood that they had a connection to the cosmos that was like no other. Your Black ancient mothers didn't uh, rule and try to take dominion over people to prove that. They just existed in that. It was in their essence because they understood it to be a part of their blood. So they created temples, yes. Mystery schools, yes. Schools of literature, schools of art, from their expression. They were sought after by everyone all over the world. How do we exist in civilization? They were looked at as the standard. But then, and I'm simplifying this here, but then their own clansmen said, wait a minute, all these women, these melanated women, have this power. We want it. Priests could not call themselves priests unless they were an extension of the melanated woman. Kings could not call themselves kings unless they were an extension of the melanated woman. But their own clansmen got upset, said, no, we can't have that. So they did what they did, caused a lot of confusion, disruption. Then, from the internal conflict, came the Arabs. They did their thing. Then we have the Levitical Jews that came in and did their thing, right down to the Roman Christians. And again, I am simplifying this downward spiral. Okay. So then the Roman Christians came in, and that's why you see a lot of images of our Black ancient mothers that have been very much Europeanized. They've been whitewashed or just simply wiped away. But not anymore. Because women like myself, women like you that are watching, that have left religion, whose eyes have been open, you have been awakened to your original identity. So we are coming back, we are here, and we're not going anywhere. And that takes you reconnecting with you, with your identity, with yourself, with your sovereignty, with your autonomy to create for yourself, to create your own spiritual practice. And let me just say this, your spiritual practice is your reconnection with who you truly are. That in itself is a spiritual practice. So don't think when you hear me say spiritual practice, I'm not talking about necessarily lighting a candle, mixing some herbs, okay, creating a tincture. I'm not necessarily talking about those things. I'm talking about you first, your spiritual practice being you, pouring back into yourself and reconnecting with your authentic essence. You reconnecting with your DNA. Your DNA that is ancient, your DNA that carries ancient wisdom, your DNA that is pure to the earth, your DNA that has a connection to the infinite, to prosperity, and yes, to magic. Because what I know for sure, what I know is that as you ascend, as you get safe, as you become safe in your autonomy, in your sovereignty after you've left religion, you become safe in that, you will start to connect with ancient spiritual practices. You will find yourself starting to move and to really take action in applying those things and infusing those practices into your life. Yes, but just know, you may be watching this right now and you may be saying, well, I don't know how, I don't know where to start. Where do I look? It's so much online. There's so many books out there. And I will say, yes, there are a lot of things online. There are a lot of books. Okay. I could give you a handful of books right now to go read. But no, your first spiritual practice is reconnecting with what's already inside of you. Period. You don't ha- you were not designed to be afraid of yourself. Religion taught you to be afraid of yourself. If you went to look in the mirror, when you looked in the mirror this morning or today or before you even watched this video, did you get afraid of what you saw? No. Did you start crying? Did you scream of what you saw in the mirror? No. And it sounds ridiculous, but that is the programming that religion gave you. To be afraid of your ancient spiritual practices is to be afraid of yourself. That is ridiculous. So, let your first motion and action in you reclaiming your ancient spiritual practices is to reconnect with you, to reconnect with your essence, to reconnect with your DNA. And if you want support in doing that, I have my Ascension membership, which is a monthly membership. It is open for enrollment. And I also work with women one on one as well. I will leave the links for my one on one services and the membership in the description box of this video so you can see which one or both works for you. All right. All right. Let me know what your thoughts have been throughout this very short series. And also, if you are having specific challenges that you're facing right now, as you navigate your life outside of religion, let me know what those challenges are in the comments, and I will do a video on it. And if you have questions, I will answer your questions to the best of my ability. All right. Until then, until the next episode, stay sovereign.